My name's Eep.
Bring it stop.
It's news.
And we're the world's first family, the Croods.
Oh, another glorious morning.
Dad always says the pack stays together.
That's my girl.
Seatbelt mode.
Now we're searching for a perfect place to call home.
What the heck is that?
It's the end of the world.
Well, that's it for me. I'm glad it's you, Chunky.
Wow. Isn't it strange how this food grows in perfectly straight...
Genius.
I thought cave people died off years ago.
We happy meet you. Thanks.
Oh. We are the Bettermans.
Better man?
Emphasis on the better.
Is that your home?
Kind of big, isn't it?
Hey, girl.
Another teenage girl.
Yeah?
A girl.
Friend! I've never had a girlfriend before. Me either. What do we do? What do we say to each other? What's happening to our voices? What's getting so I don't know if cave people belong in a modern world.
What's your problem, big guy?
This place is changing everyone.
Guy?
And we really need to limit Thunk's window time.
Not now, Douglas. The birds are on.
In my day, we didn't stare at birds. We fought them.
Let me live my life.
Whoa, what's that? It's just a scar.
Every mark is an adventure.
And my dad doesn't even know about this one.
Whoa, peanut toe.
You're not allowed outside the wall?
Nope.
This farm is like your cave. You're just like me.
I feel like taking chances.
You see that wall? Yeah. You want to jump in? Yeah.
No! We'll be back before anyone knows.
Like when I close my eyes, don't even care if anyone sees me dance.
You took Dawn for a joyride. The Bettermans built the wall for a reason. That's not good.
The only way to survive is if the pack stays together.
In such a dangerous world, I worry about my family too.
What's that?
Kill circle. Today is a good day to die!
Hey, everyone, you'll never guess what I found out!
Sorry, honey. We thought you were a predator trying to kill us.
No, never apologize for an effective kill circle.
Hold on, stop. You accessorize with a sloth? I accessorize with a sloth. This is built.
Mine's Sash.
Ooh la la.
Hello, I'm Maddie Moat. I'm a TV presenter and a YouTuber. You might have seen me popping up on CVVs or on YouTube, where I make lots of fun family science videos, especially videos about one of my first loves, and that was natural history, which is why it is my absolute pleasure to be here and to welcome you on behalf of Universal Pictures UK to this exciting discussion all about the DreamWorks animation, The Croods 2: A New Age. So we're going to be talking about all of the awesome prehistoric flora and fauna that appears in this movie, both real and imagined. So these are the animals like human-sized sloths, my favorite, the bumble rhinos, and even sharks that live on land. Yes, we're going to be talking about land sharks. I am absolutely delighted to be joined by the film's director, Joel Crawford, and curator from the Natural History Museum and expert on prehistoric animals, Rula Papa. Hello to both of you.
Hey, Maddie.
Hello. The Croods 2: A New Age is coming to cinemas on the 16th of July, but now we've all just seen that brilliant trailer. Let's dive a little bit deeper into the wonderful world of the Croods and the Cretaceous period. Joel, I wonder if you could tell us a little bit about the story to bring us all up to speed, and perhaps how you and the team came about creating some of these amazing animals that we meet along the way.
Okay, yeah. Approaching Croods 2, it being a sequel, I love the first movie, and I could say that because I didn't work on it. I was working on other films at DreamWorks while the team was making the first one, and I love that it's about family and it's about this, like you said, this fantastical world, the Cretaceous period, an unknown time that the world was crazy and experimenting with animals and environments. And so when we approached this movie, wanted to expand, picking up with the Croods. They're in search of a home. And this movie is really about expanding our idea of what it means to be a pack. So they meet another family and also expanding their world and experiencing new environments. Even the audience that's seen the first Croods and seen those crazy cool environments, to bring something new to them. And so that was one of our big challenges and opportunities on this, to go, what kind of crazy world can we introduce the audience to, and what kind of unique hybrid Cretaceous animals can we bring in?
Right, so that is where the Croodimals, that's where they came into this picture for the second film.
At its heart, it's about not kind of judging on the appearance of these two families meet each other, and there's something on the surface, but when you look closer, it's something entirely different. And we kept that rule for how we're designing these creatures, the Croodimals, that they could appear as one thing and become something entirely unexpected, and have that surprise that you learn more.
Okay. So, I mean, you've just mentioned this idea of hybrid animals, but Rula, I wonder, the creatures in this film, they are set in the Cretaceous period, which is a fictional period of prehistoric history. But knowing what you know, being an expert in prehistoric animals, were there any creatures as colorful or bizarre or as huge as we see in this film? Did anything like that actually exist?
That's a really good question. We know that in Earth's past, many animals grew really much larger than they do today. While the large dinosaurs tend to grab our attention, there have been many other giant animals, some of them colorful too, like the giant arthropods, which lived around 300 million years ago. And there are some other awesome extinct giants that they lived during Ice Age. Ice Age time between 2.6 million years ago until 12,000 years ago. So for example, giant sloths with powerful limbs that could reach up to 2 meters long and weighed up to 3 tons. The woolly mammoths, which we are all quite familiar with, they weighed between 4 and 6 tons. And they had these massive tusks, which reached up to 3.5 meters long. And other creatures like big wolves, bears, and hyenas. We also know that there were macaque monkeys around during Ice Age. And these monkeys, potentially as cheeky as the punchy monkey.
I don't know about you, Joel, but I think any one of those creatures would have fit in quite well in this film, don't you?
I was like, wait, Rula, we should have talked like, a couple years ago, because I would put even more creatures in.
I know, and actually, Rula, you just mentioned wolves as well, giant wolves, and then we're also talking about arthropods, and I know that there's a character in this film which is kind of a blend of both, right?
Yes, I think the wolf spiders are my favorite, because there's something that I think a lot of people react to spiders and going, I don't want to pet that. But then when you mix it with a wolf or a dog, and there's something so endearing and disarming about a dog, that it was such a weird combo. And after the team designed it, I was like, I want to hug that.
You're so right. It's cute. Not many people would want to hug a fluffy tarantula, but if it's a tarantula wolf pup, then yeah, definitely. Let's go for it. So we're here because we've had a whole bunch of questions that have come in from the Mumsnet audience and their families. First question is for Joel. Someone has said they are really looking forward to this film. But when making a film like this, do you feel like you have to base it on some kind of historical evidence, or as it's not real, do you enjoy just being as imaginative as possible?
It's a great question, because it's kind of what we kept asking ourselves all along. It's so fun to use our imaginations and create all these kind of hybrid mixed animals. but we wanted to make sure it didn't look like we were just making things up. But the only way to find that is to go too far and go, okay, that one feels fake for some reason. And you can't even put your finger on it. I'm sure Rula would be able to point out what doesn't feel real. But for us, it was like, let's keep the reality of the Croods world, but just let our imaginations run wild. And like I mentioned, as long as it all came back to thematically supporting the story, that for me was the deal breaker.
Okay, next question is for Joel. My 4-year-old daughter is very excited for the Croods too, but after seeing a trailer a few weeks ago, her main question is, how did Eep get her peanut toe? Which apparently she has asked her mum several times. And they're hoping to get the answer in the film, but if that's not going to happen, they wonder if you could fill them in.
Oh, I love that.
Scorpion badger, swamp snake, sky snake, volcano, end of the world. My little sister, she bites a lot. And my dad doesn't even know about this one.
Whoa, peanut toe.
You know, we kind of leave it a little bit of a mystery, which I think it's almost better in your imagination of going all the wild adventures that Eep has gone on. She somehow lost it, and it was almost like her dad said, hey, don't do this really silly thing, and she's like, oops, like that was her big takeaway of like, I can't tell him that I lost my toe. But actually there is a personal tie-in to this, so this isn't how Eep lost her toe, but there's a personal connection. I really relate to Eep's character. When I was 5 years old, I was a really hyperactive kid, and I ended up climbing a brick wall, and I ended up, the wall fell, and I did lose a couple of my toes. But it didn't stop me as a hyperactive kid. I even ran track and everything. And there was a foot doctor created a little cover there's a little sleeve that almost looked like a peanut. So that's my own peanut story.
That is so funny. Who knew? So perhaps we'll leave it to the person who asked this question to come up with their own backstory, but at least now you all know where it came from in the first place. Amazing. Now, dinosaurs, they don't appear in the film. However, someone would like to know, if you were to have a dinosaur as a pet, what would it be and why?
Ooh. Okay, it'd be a pet I probably couldn't actually pet, but like a raptor would be awesome.
Yeah.
That just would be amazing, but
it's very, very cool.
You'd never touch it.
I mean, I would probably go for a triceratops. Rula, what about you?
I tend, because I look after Ice Age mammals, I would go for a baby sloth. I like the baby sloth idea that you have in the film.
This is Belt!
Mine's Sash. Ooh la la.
That is a very good answer. You gotta love a sloth. Gotta love a sloth. Okay, so a good question here for Rula again. My children loved the first Croods film. They're really excited about it. But my son would like to know if you're still discovering new prehistoric creatures on digs.
Yeah, that's a very cool question. There are still so much to discover, and wherever are still excavations going on, there are always a new piece which will reveal more information about the past creatures. One of the best sort of moments which I carry with me is when we excavated in Greece in 2007 a partial skeleton of a mastodon in sandy deposits dated around 3 million years ago. Mastodons are related to elephants, and they're primitive proboscideans. And we've managed to discover and excavate the whole, more or less the whole skeleton of this animal, and also both tusks. They had huge tusks, and they were found and proved to be the longest tusks ever recorded for any animal, living or extinct. In total length from tip to the base, 5 meters long.
I That must have been so exciting. And there are certainly lots of the Croodimals that have tusks as well, including the bumble rhinos, which I did say were one of my favorites. Joel, something, the film is absolutely hilarious. How do you go about testing its comedy value? That's another question that's come in from Mumsnet. Do you have lots of focus groups?
It's interesting because a lot of times as we're making these movies, we put it up in front of an audience, see how it's playing. However, we finished this movie during the pandemic from home, and so we didn't have the opportunity to put it in theaters. We had one screening where we put it up early, and thankfully it tested great. But I'd say a lot of it, we all who are working on this movie, we all have families. We all, enjoy working with each other. And kind of our thing was like, if it makes us laugh, if it feels like our family members, if it's entertaining to us, then universally it should be relatable to everybody. And so that was our kind of guiding light, since we couldn't actually have the focus groups during the making of it.
Nice. Okay, I've got one quick question for Rula. We've got to answer this super quickly, but someone would like to know, where are some of the best areas to search for fossils? And if they are lucky enough to find one, where should they take it to get more information about it?
Yeah, that's a great question. So basically deposits of rivers and lakes are the best sort of resources to find many fossils, as water is a key resource for survival, and whole skeletons of large mammals have been found in lake sediments, for example. So when visiting the countryside or strolling along the beach, you might also find items, bones, teeth, or fossils. And I think the best place is Natural History Museum, because we do have here in the UK, we have a free public access identification service at the Angela Marmont Centre. And you can check the website, or you can even, submit requests to the Natural History Identification Forum. And there is also a Facebook account about biodiversity. So there are different sort of resources.
Great. Okay, thank you so much. I will add to that, I've had particular success fossil hunting along beaches in Kent as well. So if you're going for a staycation this year, I recommend Kent for fossil hunting. But on that note, we have come to the end of our panel, which has been really, really interesting. And I think we've all learned a little bit more about the wonderful creatures, both in this film and also the more factually accurate prehistoric creatures as well, the likes that Rula studies. So thank you so much to Joel Crawford and to Rula Papa for joining us, and to the Mumsnet audience for all of your awesome questions. We do hope you enjoyed watching, and remember to head down to the cinema with your families on the 16th of July to watch The Croods 2, A New Age.
Hi, guy! Hey, you.
Where'd you go?
Took Chunky for a joyride.
Joyride?
Joyride?
We rolled to death outside the wall. Catch.
You took Dawn for a joyride outside the wall?
Yeah.
Well, the Bettermans, they don't want Dawn outside the wall. They built the wall for a reason, to keep everyone safe.
Guy, relax.
Yeah, guy, take it down low.
What's wrong with her?
It's just a reaction to the bee venom.
Bee venom?
Bee venom!
What the...